It's Friday, November the 14th, 2014. I'm Nikki Gordon-Bloomfield and this is episode number 58 of T.E.N, Transport Evolve News for the week beginning November the 10th, 2014. It's a question we've been asked time and time again by current and would-be plug-in car drivers, and if we're honest, it's one of those, well, duh, moments that make us wonder why someone didn't do this years ago. We're talking, of course, about adding an electric vehicle charging station to a humble street light in order to combine two much-needed functions into one elegant piece of street furniture. Historically, there have been a raft of reasons to make this tough, including a lack of spare power in the lighting circuit. But now, thanks to LED light bulbs and energy-saving tech, BMW has built two prototype Light and Charge lampposts, which feature a fully integrated Charge Now public station into the base of the light. The two prototypes have been installed outside BMW's Munich headquarters, but we're hoping we'll be seeing more of them in the near future. Oh, and in case you're wondering, BMW isn't the first to do this. After we published the original story this week, we were sent these nifty photographs of these charging stations tacked onto a lamppost in Sofia, Bulgaria. Last week, Tesla Motors published its official Q3 earnings for 2014 and told us that the upcoming Model X crossover SUV was going to hit the market a little later than it had originally promised. But alongside the mainly good news from Tesla in the US, also came the warning from Tesla CEO Elon Musk that Tesla would likely put up the price of the Model S in Europe thanks to a strong dollar and a weak euro. As Musk mentioned in Tesla's shareholders' call after releasing the figures, something we didn't get a chance to listen to until this week, the big drop in value of the euro means that Tesla just isn't able to continue selling the Model S at its current European price point for much longer. Translation: if you're in Europe and you're thinking about buying a Model S, be sure to order sooner rather than later or risk paying a higher sticker price. Staying with Tesla for a second, famed mutual fund manager Ron Barron of Barron Capital, whose company currently has between 240 and 250 million invested in the Californian automaker, hit the headlines this week by claiming that we'll all be driving Tesla model cars by 2025. Writing in his own Q3 shareholders letter, Barron, a self-confessed Tesla fan, said that he believes his company's investment in Tesla will pay a tenfold return within 8 to 10 years, and that Tesla will dominate the vehicle market in just 10. Despite the Model X delay, Barron says that increasing oil prices will force us to find alternative ways of getting around, and electric cars are the logical choice. What's more, he says, only Tesla and BMW get it. BMW, by the way, he says, is planning on dumping the internal combustion engine for good in the next 10 years. I think Ron Barron has to be the biggest, most bearish pro-EV fund manager I've seen. Whether he's right or not remains to be seen. On Tuesday this week, Kia held the official UK launch of its first mass-produced electric car, the funky all-electric Soul EV. Priced at $29,995 sterling before incentives, the 5-seat compact utility vehicle features a 27 kWh lithium-ion battery pack, onboard 6.6 kW charger, and CHAdeMO DC quick charge capability. Range, as always, is a little problematic under the EPA test. 93 miles is quoted, whereas the NEDC, which is what we rely on for European ratings, says 131 miles. Other features include heated front seats and a special heating system that can switch off all heating in the car except in the driver's area to save power. While I haven't had a chance to drive yet, those who have say that the Kia's range really is impressive around town, so this could be one to watch out for. The downside? Early reports from dealers suggest that this car won't be so easy to get hold of, and Kia admits that only 13 dealers, 11 outside of London, will stock it. Sad hamster. When it comes to the battle between electric cars, hybrid cars and hydrogen fuel cell cars, there's really no love lost between pro-plug-in folks and Toyota and its luxury brand Lexus. In fact, as you may remember, Lexus got its corporate knuckles rapped not so long ago when it ran a pretty obvious anti-EV ad. Well, now it's done it again, but this time it's gone after one car in particular, the BMW i3. Its latest ad, called Dadula Party, features two cars of soon-to-be dads heading to Vegas for the weekend from LA to celebrate the baby. The guys in the Lexus CT200H make it to Las Vegas in double quick time, while the guys in the BMW i3 are portrayed as basically losing their minds to the monotony of constantly needing to recharge, exhaustion, and no AC. Pretty much every negative stereotype is played on in this Funny or Die deducted commercial, despite the reality that anyone with a plug-in car would never dream of making this trip, and BMW specifically offers loaner gasoline cars to i3 owners who need to make a longer distance trip for free. But the funny bit comes from EV advocate Tom Malogany, who quietly pointed out this week that the BMW i3 used in the commercial is actually a BMW i3 Rex, or range extended model, a car which could have made the 280-mile trip with ease. What's funnier is that the post-production crew basically photoshopped the extra filler out of the finished ad in all but a few shots. Here 1 second and gone the next. It's like magic. It's official. Following on from many sneak peeks and press conferences where we've already heard a fair amount about its upcoming fuel cell sedan, Toyota will officially unveil its 2015 fuel cell sedan next Tuesday in Tokyo at a specially convened media event. Since we already know its price, 7 million yen, and what it looks like from the outside, we're hoping Toyota will finally release details about the car's interior, as well as answer some basic questions we all have about range, practicality, and performance. Thanks to some massive governmental incentives for the fuel cell vehicles in its home market of Japan, Toyota's first fuel cell vehicle will likely sell fairly well after a few months. But outside of Japan, the former president of the European Parliament, Pat Cox, warned this week that Toyota risks losing its shirt over its fuel cell obsession. Talking at the Challenge Bibendum in China this week, Mr. Cox says that he anticipates Toyota will lose between 50 and 100,000 euro on each and every fuel cell car it sells in Europe next year. Taking a hit on a new model isn't exactly unheard of, but that's a pretty big deficit to make up to. Good luck, Toyota. Here at Transport Evolved, we like to cover all sorts of future car technology, from future fuels and safety features to full-on autonomous vehicles. And while we love the idea of self-driving cars, we're not convinced they'll catch on anytime soon, primarily due to the technical and legislative challenges that lay ahead. Yet those clever people over at Navigant Research have a slightly different opinion. While they too agree that regulatory changes will be our biggest hurdle to self-driving nirvana, they predict that we'll see the first cars with autonomous drive capabilities hit the market sometime by 2020, and that by 2035, more than 3/4 of new vehicles will have self-driving tech. At this point, we should probably point out that we're not necessarily talking about fully self-driving cars with no controls. Instead, says Navigant's research arm, we'll see vehicles that require us to help them on the surface streets, but we'll be more than happy to do the legwork on long-distance freeway trips, making everything from longer road trips to overnight cross-country truck trains really a reality. I, for one, welcome our new robotic overlords, as long as they don't try to act like number 6 did on BSG. That was really nasty. When it comes to naming a new car, there's always the risk that the name, which might be fine in one country, has a double meaning somewhere else, like the ill-fated GM Nova, the Mitsubishi Pajero, and of course the Audi e-tron. But now German automaker Daimler, who's stuck to using its name ED on all of its electric models, despite its unfortunate connotations to a certain phallic problem for several years, has now announced that ED will be no more. In a press release this week, Daimler announced that an entirely new way of referring to the entirely Mercedes-Benz family of vehicles, designed to make the entire brand easier to decipher at the stoplight. Gone is ED and all those other long fuel-type names, and in their place comes a series of single-letter suffixes that will tell you what powers the vehicle. Gasoline cars won't have a suffix, but will get a C for natural gas, D for diesel, E for anything with a plug, electrical plug-in hybrid, F for fuel cell, and H for hybrid. We're glad to see the rebranding at last, but we're a little perplexed as to why plug-in hybrids and electric models are kind of lumped together, aren't you? If you've been a plug-in fan for any length of time, you'll be more than aware of that old adage that electric cars are just boring, old, slow golf carts. The chances are you've had at least one person say that to you in the past month, most likely some distant relative or co-worker who thinks they're hilarious. But what would you say if I told you that there's a golf cart out there that's all electric and can manage a quarter mile in 12.241 seconds? Behold the PQ golf cart, built by Plum Quick Racing from South Carolina, which set a new world record by managing the quarter mile recently in 12.241 seconds at a terminal speed of 118 miles per hour, complete with a set of irons on the back for good measure. For those taking note, that's about the same speed that a stock Tesla Roadster will reach on a drag strip, and far faster than the 18 or so seconds it took me to do a quarter mile in my Nissan Leaf back in 2011. Congratulations to Plum Quick Racing for the new world record, and here's to many more surprised gas car drivers who decide to take on your little pocket rocket. Well done. That's it for this week. Don't forget to join us next week for another episode of T.E.N. And in the meantime, visit www.transportevolved.com for all the Evolved transport news that's fit to print. Subscribe to our channel and other shows on YouTube. And don't forget to join us live on Sunday at 6 p.m. GMT for the Transport Evolved panel talk show, where we'll be discussing these stories and more. You can watch live at our website at www.transportevolved.com, or you can join us via our YouTube channel at youtube.com/transportevolved. I'm Nikki Gordon-Bloomfield. Have a great weekend, and until next time, stay juiced up.